Whatever, whatever, whatever. Whatever, whatever, whatever,
It started out as a conversation a friend and I were having, and we had been working on this collaboration all winter. He's a musician, and we were both kind of having a rough winter, and I was definitely clinging onto my camera just for sanity. I would just go out every night and shoot. And so we got this work together, and we were faced with, well, you know, what do we want to do with it? And I love galleries, and I think they have a purpose, and they're absolutely relevant. But I didn't really have any interest in selling this work at the time, and was hesitant to how I wanted to show it. So we talked about just putting it up on a wall on 11th during Capitol Art Walk and doing a performance, and then leaving the work. And that conversation sort of turned into, well, what if we did that all the time? What if we used this wall as a gallery? And I like the idea a lot, but I'm bothered by the fact that I think that people don't give that work legitimacy still. The conversations have gotten so much faster. There's so much more work available because of the internet. Everyone knows now how much work people are doing, how much good work is out there. I think 30 years ago, if you didn't get your work into a gallery or a coffee shop, how did you show it? And so the conversations weren't happening as rapidly. We didn't know how much, nobody could know how many creative, great people there are out there doing amazing work. You know? So that stuff has changed, you know, and the amount of workflow and the amount of stuff that's coming out is incredible. Our ability to show it hasn't changed, and even how we look at work hasn't changed. We don't give it a lot of legitimacy if it's just hanging on a wall somewhere. We tend to enjoy it for a second, but then wonder why it's not in a gallery, and then walk on. And so I had wrestled with that idea of legitimacy for a while. I knew I didn't. I do a lot of work with nonprofits, and just like galleries, they have an amazing purpose. But there was something else that I thought was lacking. I felt like what keeps us as artists from communicating with each other and really sharing these ideas, and why are we still held back by this idea of legitimacy? Like what makes, you know, does the space make the work legitimate, or does the work make the space legitimate? If a space had no overhead, if a space could be built out of pocket and run for free, then you're really free to do whatever you want. And the idea of community is really important to me. I think that this process that we all go through and figuring out what we're working on, these ideas that we're working through, I think the most important thing is that we share those things. As artists, we share them with each other. That's the point. You know, we're all working on this stuff, and if we don't have a place to share it, if the conversations can't happen, then I don't care how good the work is.